Good morning, everybody. Wow, we're actually live. We're doing this first time going live. All right, so let's see. What are we gonna tackle today? What are we gonna talk about? This is amazing. We're on here live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Um, yeah, there's so much to talk about, right? I mean, we could talk about politics, sports, but yeah. I'll start off a little bit with who are what's my inspiration for this channel. Um, you know, I would really like to grow this channel. I would like to, spread that positivity. Just help other people out. Because YouTube has helped me so much. So I would love to return the favor, and through YouTube and in the future, whatever else comes along the way, I would love to help. And yeah, man, I've learned so much here, and there's just so much knowledge out there, and it's really great. It's amazing what we're able to do with the internet. But yeah, so let's see, where do we start? Maybe I'll talk a little bit about my sources of motivation. So one of them is Warren Buffett, which at one point he was the most wealthiest man in the world. But the thing that I really love about Warren Buffett is how humble he is. You know, and he just cares so much. He can genuinely cares about people, cares about what he's doing, and like I said, even though he was at one point the richest man in the world, he was still doing working at a Dairy Queen. Like, I remember this thing I saw on YouTube. He was with Bill Gates, and I just found this so refreshing, man. Like that someone's so engaged with with their customer base, with its company, and Warren Buffett, he always says he doesn't just invest in stocks. You know, he's investing in his companies. When he invests, he sees it as him owning those companies as well. As being an owner. So that's really amazing. Really, really humble of him, and even his home. He's stayed in Omaha. He doesn't have this mansion. He just has this really simple home, beautiful home, but simple. Not nothing, you know, luxurious or lavish. Just like all these other people try to be, right. Uh, Another one would be Dan Pena. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's very, alpha male, very loud in your face. That's something I really love about him. Something I aspire to be, and he's amazing, man. He really is, and I would say he's probably one of the reasons I started this podcast. Um, I saw him doing an interview with Joe Rogan, which is also another one of my people that I'm going to talk about as my source of motivation. But yeah, Dan Pena, he doesn't take no excuses, and that's really you know he just grabs life by the horns, man, and he's always telling these crazy stories, and if you see his webinars or whatnot. Uh, Sometimes he goes at it with his students, calls everybody snowflakes. Um, I think he was one of the few people that I really learned that if if you can control your emotions, if you can learn that it's just words, then man, life is gonna be so much easier. And that is something that Pena taught me. I think I was weak minded, or my mentality wasn't there, and for sure he's definitely had an influence. Biggest impact ever. Out of all the men that I'll list here, for sure it was Dan Pena who's had the biggest influence. Um, Another one is Joe Rogan, as I said. I mean, we all know Joe Rogan. I mean, he's the king of the podcast right now. He's on top of the hill, and yeah, that guy's amazing. I mean, his listening skills is beyond me, and it's something I aspire to be. Um, Man, I'm just reminiscing, thinking about everything. He's a really cool guy, and a lot of people, we forget that he's also a former, I think, Taekwondo champion, national champion, and you know that's the one thing. The one thing from Joe Rogan is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Uh, just have multiple jobs. Do if after you throw so much, something's gonna stick. So I really appreciate that about him. I really like that. And for a while, I even had two jobs, so I had two sources of income. Then the pandemic hit. So I'll talk a little bit about that. I worked for Amazon as one job, and my other job was at a restaurant in Beverly Hills. And yeah, the whole I left maybe about a month prior to the pandemic, and luckily for me, well, I won't say luckily, but yeah, I left just when the pandemic came, and everybody got laid off at that job. And I think recently they barely opened, or even the morning shift, which I was part of, they're still not working. I think they're only open at night. So definitely impacted right there. Like I said, Joe Rogan taught me to have two jobs, and luckily I have this other job, which yeah, it pays the bills. Um, yeah, his interviews, man, they're amazing. They've opened me to a whole bunch of people. I would like to say that I was, maybe in a bubble, and he definitely taught me how to look at into both perspectives. Think of other stuff. And oh, sorry guys, I'm getting bit by the mosquitoes out here. Um, yeah, so Joe Rogan is definitely great. Um, let's see, talked about Dan Pena, Warren Buffett, Joe Rogan. Who's the other guy? Who's another source of um, oh, uh, you know, Napoleon Hill. Reading his books. That's also the reason I found out about his book is through Dan Pena actually, and reading his book, which is called Think and Grow Rich, which if you can check out, I'm doing a chapter by chapter review for Think and Grow Rich, and it's an amazing book. Like, that thing, it's definitely changed my life. It's changed my attitude towards life, and I'm setting some big goals. Really happy, looking forward to doing that. Looking forward, to growing, and set big goals. I'll talk a little bit about the book, but like I said, I have a whole chapter by chapter review. But just a little quick, big things that I got from it is think big, think really big. Like it's gonna go hand in hand with Dan Pena because he learned a lot from this book. That's kind of his Bible, the Think and Grow Rich. Um, Aim really big because you're only going to achieve 10% of what you believe. So if you set a goal of $1 billion, you achieve only $100 million, which is not bad. If you ask me, $100 million, not bad at all. So yeah, set huge goals, realistic goals, set a plan, and something you can attack. Don't just, you know, don't wish or hope. With a plan, you can achieve anything. Let's see, what else did I get out of this book? Man, so, you know, uh, live your life with enthusiasm. It's really contagious. People can see that. You know, people see that you're happy, when people see that you're invested in something personally, not just for financial reasons, but that you really care about something, that you want to put something into it. People can see through the BS. And, hopefully you guys can see through this as well. Like, I really mean it when I say I want to help others, because, like I said, YouTube has helped me so much, and I'm still gonna continue to grow, and I'm still learning. I'm always learning. So, and I always want to continue to get better. So, just never stop. Never stop. Don't quit. Keep learning. Um, let's see. My last guy for there's a lot of sources of inspiration, but my last guy would probably be Kobe Bryant. You know, I remember hating this guy so much, man. Like, it's ridiculous how much I hate him. When Kobe entered the league, I believe I was 5 or 6 years old, and my whole life, man, I really hated this guy because my favorite player was Allen Iverson and Reggie Miller. I would try to cross over people like Allen Iverson and then shoot long distance like Reggie Miller. And back to back, both of these players, both these teams that they played on, the Indiana Pacers and the Sixers, they got eliminated. And thanks to who? Kobe and the Lakers. So I've always had this distaste for Kobe and the Lakers. And funny enough, in his last game, when he played against Utah, he scored 60 points. And I was just in shock. And I was like, man, like, it hit me. It finally hit me after 20 years or 20 seasons. It hit me. I was like, I was hating this man my whole life. Like, imagine how happy, how much more happy I would have been if I just rooted for him. All the championships I would have been able to celebrate. I think he had like 5 in his run. But yeah, man, I would have been able to bask in that glory. Instead of hating him, I would have been able to enjoy him. And he was one of the guys I really wanted to interview at one point in my life. I even had, like I said, I worked in Beverly Hills at this high-end restaurant, and I was able to Kobe, so that was pretty cool. Uh, yeah, it was really really sad what happened with him. Sorry, eyes are a little itchy because of all those fires here in California and all the smoke, the smog, whatever you want to call it, the smoke from the fire. But my eyes getting itchy. Uh, yeah, man, it was really tragic what happened to Kobe, and really did lose one of the greatest human beings. Yeah, I'm sure you were all aware of his checkered past or things like that, but if you see him as a whole, his whole body of work, it's very, very tremendous, very motivating, and yeah, like I said, all these people, I want to take something from them, man. From Kobe, I want to take that hunger, that fire, just to be the best. That's what I aspired to be. Let's see. So on this live podcast, man, usually, I like to have a guest with me, but I wanted to try something new. I wanted to go live, see how this would be, and and it's definitely different when you have just the camera to yourself. No, without editing. Uh, there's so much things to talk about. Let's see, what can we talk about? The stock market. Like I said, going back to Napoleon Hill, uh, that got me into wanting to create my wealth, right? So I started investing in the stock market, and it went really well for me. I must have spent maybe 2 months studying, doing simulations, things like that. But the truth is, guys, the real truth is, you want to make money, don't do the simulations. There is nothing like the pain of losing money. Like, I cannot stress that enough. when you lose money, you're like, oh shit, like I need to be on top of this because this was really bad. I remember the first time, like I said, it happens to everybody, but from the beginning, I was studying a lot and you know studying Warren Buffett the various investor of all time, and it went pretty well at first, and then I got so cocky, I got caught up, and I was like, oh, this stock, it's on the rise. Like, why I need to invest like in it quick. The one thing you guys need to learn is if something's on the way up, it's probably best that you don't touch it. Best time to invest. It seems so counterintuitive, but the best time to invest is when stock is going down. But yeah, I was when it was going up. I saw it and I was like, man, I need to cash in. I need to get some of this money because everybody else is getting money, right? So I buy like I think it was like maybe $1,000 of stock, and I just see it go down instantly. Like not even I don't even think like 2 minutes passed, and I was like, and you just as a human being, you're like, man, my money is draining, is going down. So let me let me just hold on. Like it'll probably turn up, right? And it kept going down, and I think out of my $1,000 investment, I probably went down to $200. And that was a big moment, huge turn in my life. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, then I need to do this the right way. If not, I'm just working for nothing. I'm just spending my money. But that failure is really important because when you experience failure, you learn. There's no substitute for it. No substitute for it. You gotta fail, and that pain, that's what's going to drive you. It's gonna help you move forward. It's gonna make you think clear. Because you know, once you messed up, you learn from that. You're like, okay, I need to not buy on emotion. And now, so after that, I got into this brand new stuff. I think it was like a radio frequency, and I really liked the concept and everything how it was going. This was in 2019, and they were called In Mode. There you go. I'm not promoting anything, just letting you guys know my finances, what I was investing in. But yeah, I was on In Mode, and I think it was like I want to say $12 a share. So I bought like 10 of them, and then they went up. They went up to like 15. So I bought more. Eventually, I bought like 100 shares, and those 12 $15 initially a share, they went up to as much as I want to say $50 a share. So it's pretty cool. So I made a pretty good amount of money right there. And then another one that I invested in was Tesla. I want to say I bought that at $300 a share, and I think I bought like maybe 10, yeah, around there. Not too many, but like I said, I'm a new investor, so I was testing the waters. But about 10 shares went up all the way to 1,000 a share. So you can only imagine how happy I was. And the whole pandemic came, right? Oh God, the whole pandemic. Oh, I also invested in Disney stock, and like I said, the pandemic. So as soon as I saw the pandemic announced, the shutdown announced, I think it was like March 18th, something like that. When everything was shut down, I was like, okay, this is gonna be shut down. This means Disney's gonna go down because their parks are gonna be closed. So I instantly sold, and I think I sold it at 130 a share. Yeah, like at 130 a share, and I think I bought them at 110 a share. So I still made a little bit of money off of that, and eventually I saw it go down to 80 a share. Uh, Tesla, like I said, it was riding to a thousand a share, and it dropped to, I want to say 350. But before it dropped, I also sold that one. I think I sold it like at around 650 a share. So same thing. I was able to make a little bit of money of it. And I know you say, why would you sell? I'm totally new at this, guys. So, but the way I see it is, I made a profit, so that's a win. You know, hey, a dollar earned is a dollar earned. There's no loss in that. Uh, Eventually, I think Tesla went into $2,000 a share before it got split. Got split. But yeah, man, that was crazy. Uh, yeah, this whole pandemic has been nuts, to say the least, and that's definitely a learning experience. And I always thought, like, well, this pandemic seems like, I knew from the beginning. I was like, this pandemic is pretty serious, so I think it's gonna be for a long time. So I was like, let me just not invest, because I think the stocks are gonna continue to go down. And yeah, I haven't invested since, and I'm missing out on money, obviously. Apparently, this is the most money to be made, but it's okay. It's a learning experience. It's just like I said, I studied Warren Buffett so much, and I was I noticed that I made the same mistakes as he did, but I really don't see it as mistakes. Let me explain why. So the thing about Warren Buffett, he thought that airline stocks were gonna go down, so he sold, Delta, American Airlines, and he was correct. He was correct. The whole shutdown, people stopped traveling. A lot of people, there was a lot of fear, and in essence, a lot of these companies, they should have shut down. They really should have. They should have closed. But you know, there was a bailout for them. Once again, right? Always a bailout for these companies to keep repeating their mistakes. So Warren Buffett was correct, and I was correct as well, that these companies, were going to be impacted by the virus, and they were. The thing we weren't expecting was the bailout. I mean, I don't think nobody could have foreseen trillions of dollars being pumped into these companies. And then there was all the PPP loans, and we thought a lot of those loans were going to go, to lower companies. But no, even like the Lakers, they got it. Harvard, which is, you know, companies, places, things that they didn't need money, they were collecting money. I mean, there were some people who were actually hurting. They're waiting to make it to the list or something or whatnot, and they didn't qualify, or they didn't make it because the money ran out. Due to these greedy fucking companies. For example, I think Harvard, they received, was it 8.7 million? Let's just round up. Let's say around 10 million in PPP loans. I believe I read that they returned them, but still, I mean, I think a lot of these companies that returned them, it's because they got caught. They were put in the public eye, right? Why is Harvard getting a 10 million PPP loan when they're getting money, from all these people, and not just people, something interesting, governments too. So I think China gave $1 billion to Harvard, and you don't just give money and not expect anything. You give it, and you know there's not a something or nothing, right? If you give that much amount of money, that means they want a change. They want something. that's something else, another topic. But yeah, like all these companies were getting millions and billions of dollars getting bailed out, and that's not natural. You know, companies are, they're supposed to be prepared, and if they're not prepared, they're supposed to pay the consequences and fail. And now you might say like, "Hey, Carlos, like it's not fair, man. Like people are losing their jobs." But it really isn't up to the government to be bailing out these companies, and it's just these companies will never learn. I mean, they did it already in 2008, 2009, and they're doing it again in 2020. What does that say? That these companies are untouchable. That if they mess up, they know that they can get bailed out because they're just gonna play that victim card. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we can't fail because thousands of jobs will be lost." And, you know, no president, no sitting government wants to be, "Oh, we're the ones who let them fail. We're the ones who let them go." So it's really really complicated. There really needs to be that separation, of from the government and our businesses. And like I said, that's the reason Warren Buffett, he miscalculated. I mean, he didn't miscalculate. It's just he didn't see this coming. And it's crazy. We're creating a bubble for sure. Um, the Federal Reserve is, just printing money. It's not backed up. I mean, before where it used to be backed up, there was the gold standard. Another guy. Speaking of gold standard, two guys actually, I should say. You should follow is Peter Schiff and Robert Kiyosaki. Both of these gentlemen, they're really knowledgeable on gold. Uh, let's talk a little bit about them. Robert Kiyosaki, that you might know him from Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's a really interesting gentleman. His book is amazing as well. I haven't completed it yet, but definitely learning a lot and having a father. From my own personal experience, having a father who has a different way of thinking about money, and and thus it's led to him to not a poor life, but something definitely yearning more. And for me, obviously, I want to make generational wealth. I want to take care of myself, my family, and my future family. But yeah, Robert Kiyosaki, he invested in gold, and he was even mining for gold. I believe in China, and he says that once he found this huge deposit, I think it was like the biggest deposit in China. You know, China's a communist country, so and they just bend the rules, and they pretty much kicked out Robert, and yeah, man, stole the gold. There's no other way to say it. They stole the gold from Robert, but he's still very intelligent, man. They may have stolen the gold from him, but the thing they can't steal is this. It's very important. His mind, and that's the most important part. You may take money away, but he'll find a way to get it back. And then Peter Schiff, very, very, very educated man, and definitely shows us some different perspectives, or things that most of us we don't take into account. And one of the things he talks about is the Federal Reserve printing money, and you can't get something for nothing. Once again, um, all that money that's being printed out, we're gonna have to pay for it. We're the taxpayers, and if you don't collect taxes, then you just have this bubble, and we've been having this bubble. I mean, some of you think that the bubble bursted in '09, but with the whole housing market, but no, it really didn't. If anything, the bubble got more inflated. Can you believe that? Uh, Yeah, that bubble that we're talking about, it's gonna burst pretty soon, or at least I believe, and it's not gonna be it's not gonna be looking good. Uh, yeah. So Peter Schiff, he invests a lot of his money, or he doesn't save his money. Rather, I should say, if he's gonna save anything, he's gonna save in physical assets, which would be gold, silver. No, yeah. I mean, if you really want to get educated on gold, silver, investing on that, I would say check out Peter Schiff and Robert Kiyosaki. Very educated men on that topic. Let's see what else. What else can we talk on this beautiful morning? Uh, you know, I guess to relate it, perfect segue is you know Netflix. They lost. I think they lost $9 billion because of the hashtag cancel Netflix trend going on right now. The movie Cuties and the issues that people are saying it's over sexualizing children. Um, I have a take on it too. I remember seeing the poster ad, whatever you call it. Um, it had these, girls posing. I think, I guess for they're in uniform, but they were posing. I'm assuming for like a tournament, dancing tournament, and very provocative, kind of like twerking. So that didn't give a good look. But the director said that's not what the movie represented. So I gave it a fair shot. I was like, okay, let me check it out. And yeah, I only saw 15 minutes of the movie because for at least for me, it was pretty bad. Um, there's like an 11-year-old, twerking, dancing. At the beginning of the movie, this girl, I think she's from Somalia. She's Muslim. She goes to wash her clothes or something, or passes by and she sees another girl right there, and she's just dancing. And like I said, it zooms in on her butt, and it's just very makes you feel weird, because it's wrong. It's an 11-year-old. Why are you doing that? Perhaps that's what the director was going for, but not my cup of taste. There's other ways of perhaps getting your message out there without, filming a child like that. And yeah, like as far as the movie, I can't give you a full movie review. I can only say uh, it's definitely pretty bad, and I can definitely see why people are saying is like bait for like pedophiles, and hopefully this doesn't set a precedent. And, and I won't go as far as to say I'll cancel Netflix because there's a lot of good stuff on Netflix. A lot very educational. They took a risk, and unfortunately for Netflix, this risk didn't pay off. And I think they'll definitely be more selective going on from here on forward. And then yeah, with the timing, the whole Jeffrey Epstein and all that stuff, it's just not a good look for anybody. Uh, yeah, man, we'll see how it goes. Well, guys, I think we'll wrap it up at that. We actually did 35 minutes. Not bad for me being on, on my own, just rambling, ranting, and raving. And next week, I'm gonna have a guest. Her name's Jeanette Flores, and we're gonna talk about a couple of topics. I remember she was really against 5G, and she was watching a lot of videos of Dave Rose and David and Robert. I can't remember the other guy's name. Dave Rose and something Ike, but I'm pretty sure you heard their controversial videos. Um, something talk about like 5G or some. That's something I don't believe in, but I think she does. and we'll just clear the air with that. Um, we'll talk about the Black Lives Matters. Oh, I guess I'll share a little bit about that with you guys. So I feel like it got hijacked, unfortunately. The Black Lives Matters movement was, it was something positive. It had a lot of potential, but unfortunately, it got out of control, led to violence, and it's just very unfortunate. I remember going at it with my brother. My brother, he is a deputy, so I was, trying to defend, the Black Lives Matter movement, and we definitely had some opposing views, me and my brother. But you know, recently here in Compton, two deputies were shot, and I don't know. This person I know, he may not be related to the Black Lives Matter movement, but then you had a bunch of protesters at the hospital saying, they hope that the officers die or things of that sort. You know, blocking entrances is like you're not just affecting those officers who recently just got shot. I mean, come on, guys, let's not do that. Not protest right there, but putting other people's lives in danger. Because you're blocking exits and you know you're not allowing access for other patients. So I think that was rather unfortunate. Um, but I will say it's definitely a great time to be American. Uh, it's the freedom of speech is in full effect. So that's pretty awesome to know that both sides, even though we may not agree with one side or the other, it's definitely great that we're having these protests, and hopefully they may continue, but they may continue in a peaceful manner. I don't want to see things happening like what they did in Kenosha or the riots. We just want peaceful protests and the right to assembly. And some people may say things that you may not agree with, but hey, we just gotta listen each other out. And in reality, we have more in common than we like to think. Um, we're not so different after all. We're all human beings. We all want the best things for our families, and we just want to have a good life, right? That's why so many immigrants are entering the country. They all want to pursue, and you know, as someone who travels a lot, like I can tell you for sure, there isn't opportunities around the world the way there is in the United States. So I would like you guys to keep that in mind. If you haven't traveled outside the U.S., you should definitely travel. You'll get a different perspective. If you haven't left California, you should definitely travel. And we are definitely in a bubble here in California. My family, they live in Texas. I'm here in Los Angeles. Very liberal, as you may know, and Texas is a little bit more conservative. So it's nice getting a balance, getting a little bit of each side. Um, but yeah, man, this I know a lot of people, talk to a lot of people, have friends here who say they've never left California, and that blows my mind because you guys really don't know what's out there. And I always hear, oh man, they're so racist over there. And I met some of the nicest people in Texas. Every time I go visit my family, like when I go to the gas station, man, like I talk to the to the attendant. Like over here in California, I don't really do that. It's just get in, get out, do what I have to do. Texas is very different. There's definitely at least for me, I feel a sense of community. Um, but yeah, and that is what it is, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. That's it for right now. We'll definitely keep these live things going. This is more of a spur in the moment. So I'll try to plan these ahead of time so we have a schedule and get more views. Uh, if you're watching, please subscribe, hit that like button, share, and thank you so much. All right, guys, appreciate it. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Stay positive. Keep hustling. Y'all can do this. Don't give up. Dream big. Whatever you want, just ask for it in life, and life will give it to you. All right. Bye.